put in the right amount of panels, and then what happens? If we put in like 5,000 and they really needed 8,000, what happens to the savings? There's no savings. The client's like, wait, I don't see any savings, but it's because you didn't add the right amount of panels, and your conviction and confidence goes down, and people are like, I don't get it, I don't get it. And then you click on the bar graph, and it's like, oh shit, now I get it. But then how do you come back from that and tell the client, hey, I made a mistake. Here's your actual usage. Put yourself in the client's shoes. How does he feel now? Cheated, lied to. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. All right? You need to set yourself up to win. And the simplest thing is, how do you increase your fluidity if you know what? If you know everything, is be prepared. Be prepared, because you know what you're going to talk about. Everything's laid down for you. All right? So let's go to the next. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next. Any questions on that? Am I making sense to you guys? Give me a thumbs up.
Definitely.
I was gonna say also click on the right product, because sometimes by default.
Oh, that's true. My boy Danny said this. Click on the right product. Because if you have a 499 and you forgot to change it to a 2.99 or Sunlight 1999 or Dividend 199, your savings are lowered, right? And you're out there presenting the wrong product. And if you say now, it's not bad, because then you can be like, oh, Mr. Customer, look. But then think about what the customer thinks at that point. What does he think?
You can lower the price.
Exactly. You can lower the price. Why did you want to give me a higher interest rate? Ulises, Juan, why did you want to give me a lower interest rate? Alberto, what? Why? I don't get it. How did you give me to a 599 and then a 199? I don't understand it. And when that happens, they challenge your confidence and your conviction. That's what they're doing. They're challenging your confidence and your conviction. And if you're new, you're most likely going to and if you're experienced, you're going to say, hey, you're going to keep it cool. Say, oh, forgot to change this. You get the lowest interest rate. As a matter of fact, I'll let you choose, Mr. Customer. What do you want to do? Right? Sometimes when that happened to me in the past, that's what I would do. Hey, you choose whatever you want. You want a 199? You want a 299? Which you want? Are you serious? Yeah, click. All right. Cool. Sorry, that was my mistake. I left it on like that. All right. Here's how it works. All right. And then I moved on. So let's talk about conviction. And I hate the fact, because I usually can't say I have my phone in my hand, but I'm using my phone for this presentation. Conviction. What does it mean? Simple. A conviction is a strong belief or opinion. Let me tell you guys a story. It's a strong belief or opinion. I was driving with Gustavo, and if you guys know Gustavo, Gustavo is always closing. If he's out there, he's closing deals. He's one of the best. As far as I know, he's one of the best, right? We were driving, and I was curious, and he's like a horse guy, right? And he likes horses. He has a couple horses. He actually has the most expensive horses probably in the area. And we're driving, and I saw some horses. And have you ever seen the horses that have their eyes covered? No. And they're just grazing, right? And I asked this guy, dude, I'm super curious. Like, why do they do that? Why do they have the horses like that? And I see, like, I just passed by 3 days straight, and they're all covered. And he's like, oh yeah, dude, it's because, when they move horses to a different locations, they don't want them to get scared and act out and do all these things. So they cover their faces, and that's how it works. So, and he just stood quiet. And in my head, I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense, right? That makes a lot of sense. So I didn't question it, because the way he said it was a strong belief and a strong opinion. What am I trying to tell you? Sometimes to get the right outcome, all you need is the right amount of belief and strong opinion. And then he turns around 2 minutes later and he says, I don't fucking know. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't know if that's the truth? Like, I don't know. I just told you that, you idiot. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't know. I thought it just made logical sense. Thank you. Right? So sometimes the right amount of belief and strong opinion is what matters most of the time. You guys remember when we were little kids, when somebody used to challenge what you would say? What would they say when you were a little kid?
You swear to God?
I swear to God. Isn't that true? Whose friends said that shit? You knew they were lying. You knew it wasn't the right answer. You knew it. You're like, damn, dude, I could have sworn that wasn't it. And this guy said, I swear to God. And he looked at you, dead in the eye. And he said, I swear to God, that is the answer. And what'd you say? Oh, shit. Oh, my bad, bro. Oh, shit. He swore to God. Shit. This must be true. Right? It must be true. And then 2 days later, you find out that it was a lie. Why was he able? It wasn't just to swear to God, but why was he able to convince somebody of something that wasn't necessarily correct, but convince them that not to challenge him? Why? His level of what? Conviction. His level of conviction. His level of belief. Right? And I'm not saying lie to people, but when you don't have the right level of conviction for your product, what happens? It's almost like the client feels like what? We always got to come back to the client. How does the client feel? Like you're not necessarily telling the what? The truth. The truth. That's why this call today is not, I'm not showing you guys a damn proposal. I'm telling you guys what you need to work on. It's your level of conviction and your level of confidence. Right? So how do you do those things, right? Let me go through this slide and then we'll switch it because I really want to talk about it. How do you build conviction? Can you guys read what that says? Know your product. What's the second one?
Know the consultation.
Know the consultation.
Train and practice.
Read it out loud, Danny.
Train and practice. Know the software. And know your closes.
Be fucking prepared. Be prepared. Saw a guy sat with me the other day and he said, oh, I'm not closing because the X. And he said, oh, it's all the client's fault. It's like, these clients are just pulling my chain. Like they're just sitting with me, but they're not. And I was like, what? How many people did you sit with? Like a certain amount of people. And I'm like, and it was all their fault? I say everything you taught me. Everything. And I said, okay, well, let's go through the 3 common concerns. I don't know. Oh, so did you really do everything that I taught you? Or are you making excuses? If you're going to make excuses, I can't help you. If you came to me and you're going to waste 30 to 45 minutes of my time, you better be prepared to role play. Because it all comes down to prepared. Who plays soccer here? I know that the Turlock office, most of you guys do. Say yes. Give me an eye. Turlock office. Turn it on and say yes.
Yes.
Okay. You all play soccer. I can see most of you guys are out of shape. Probably the only one running is Monchis because I see him play. But let's just say you had to go play a professional team. And they called you right now and they said, you're going to go play. Would you feel confident? Would you feel conviction? Would you be at the level to be able to execute?
No.
Prepared. Prepared. If I told you you're going to go play with a professional soccer team and your training starts or your game is in 3 months, you got 3 months to prepare, what would you do? Work out, right? You do all the things that you need to do. Then why do I see only 5 people on Limitless? What's the Turlock excuse? What's the Santa Maria excuse? Because it's not, you guys are just not, what's the excuse? You threw a party, but you can't pay $83 to make more money? How are we supposed to be prepared? How am I supposed to teach you guys this stuff when I know you guys don't even know it?
Make it a priority.
It's not your priority. You don't care. You only came in here because you saw a guy with the Rolls Royce. You saw a couple other guys. You saw a couple other guys making money. You saw some dudes pulling $10,000 checks. And you're like, man, as long as I can make one $10,000 check, that's it. I'm cool with it. We need to understand that we have to be prepared. Right? That equals fluidity, and knowledge equals fluidity. Doesn't knowledge equal fluidity?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right? If you know your product, you're fluid. And fluidity equals what? Not just to you, but to the customer equals confidence. Right? And confidence equals what? Conviction. Conviction. That's what it does. Let's go to the next slide. I'm fired up. Let's go to the next slide. I feel like a mini Grant Cardone right now. All right. Fix your proposal. Here's where it's at. 100% offset only and upsell through that. Okay, I'll show you guys how to do that a little bit later. Skip that one too. All right, I did the slide for you guys to make sure you understand exactly where it's at. All right, we talked about this. Skip this. I did all the talking. I probably should have skipped to that one. Engage. Ask questions to see if they understand. Repeat certain parts. So when you want to drill, I love this part. When you want to drill something up in somebody's mind, especially in the proposal, what do you want to do?
Say it a couple times.
You say it 4 to 6 times. 4 to 6 times. People sometimes look at me and just like they're training with me and I'm closing their deal and they're like, you said it like 6 times, dude. You said it like 6 times. They're looking at me like, move on. And I'm like looking at them like, shut up. Right? I've had to kick a couple people. I didn't kick Ulises because he was pretty quiet. He was building the proposal, but I think I kicked Adrian. I kicked Adrian. Ivan didn't really say anything. He was there just being a student. He was staying coachable. But there's been other people. Patricio, I don't know if Patricio's on here, but Patricio was one of those guys that I turned around and I was facing this way, and I just went like this. I went back, like, shut up, right? But because I know what I'm doing, right? And when we break the process of what we're doing, we lose what? We lose confidence and conviction, which equals the loss of a sale. So let's skip to the next one. Is that the last one? No. Oh, we got one more. All right. So before we go into the proposal, I'm just giving you guys the framework, because then what's going to happen is you're going to go in there. If you don't, you're going to say, oh, I said everything exactly, but then this is how your consultation goes. I don't know why it's showing less savings. You should have more savings. Oh, I don't know why. Yeah, your loan amount is this, right? And then you're like, well, I said everything perfectly. It's not what you said, it's the way you said it. And it's not what you said that lost you the deal. Write this down. It's not what you said that lost you the deal. It's what you didn't say. Because again, we touched on it the other day. Right? It's not what you said that lost you the deal, it's what you didn't say. When you walk out of the home, you're thinking about, damn, I should have said that. I should have said this. I should have said that. I should have said this. But that comes back to being prepared. Right? So it's not what you said. It's what you didn't say that didn't get you the deal, right? It's what you didn't say, it's what you didn't say that didn't get you the deal, okay? And sometimes it's not what you said, it's how you said it. Was the way you said it. Okay, you said something, you're like, oh, I said it. So you can't blame me, Roberto, I said it. But it's the way you said it, right? The other day I was walking with my kids and we were looking for new couches for the house. My kids, those couches that we got came with the house that we bought. Like it just all came together when we purchased it. It was a YouTuber, like these famous YouTubers, and they said, we're leaving everything, we don't want it. And everything's brand new, contemporary. If you've been to my home, it's beautiful, right? And he said, we're leaving it. And we left it, but over time, our kids destroy everything, right? They destroy everything, bro. It's like if you have kids, you understand what I'm talking about. So my wife's like, look, why don't we get some new couches? And I said, yes, let's go get some new couches. We went during the weekend and we drove around. We went through like 3 different places. And I walk into, you guys ever been to the Pismo Outlets, the potato couch? Fucking worst furniture. But we just went in there to see maybe they'll have something. I walked in there. My first thing my kids do, Ivan, Ramon, what do your kids do when they walk into a new place? Or Edgar. Edgar has kids too, or anybody has kids. What do your kids do?
Start running around.
Oscar, you have kids? They start running around, bro. And I literally told my kids, hey, I try to prep them. Every time we're gonna go somewhere now, I try to prep them. Hey, look, we're gonna go here, but don't jump on things. But they're kids. So I sit on these couches just for the hell of it. My little daughter, the first thing she does is like fucking gets on a couch, dude. And she's running around the couches, bro. There's like different couches and jumping couches. I was like, hey, get down. And the guy looks at me, the guy from the store. There was nobody, mind you, there was nobody in this fucking place. It was just me, my wife, my wife's mom, and my kids. And the guy says, hey, get off, because you might hurt yourself. And as a joke, right, I grabbed my daughter and I took her off and I was like, no se preocupe, no pasa del suelo. Right? No pasa del suelo, which means it's not a big deal. It's a small fall, you know, if they do fall. So the guy says, well, if you don't care about your kids, I do. Me being the person I am and dealing with a lot of different shit now, I just kind of smiled. I just smiled and grabbed my little girl and I told her, oh, let's all go. There's nothing here, you know? That's what he said. What he might have in his thought process, what did he want to do? He wanted to say, hey, I'm only taking care of your kids, right? But in my thought process, what did I hear?
You're not a good dad.
Yeah, I don't care about my kids. You think that guy's gonna get a cell from me?
No.
Fuck no. And as I was walking out, I was like joking still. I was still joking to try to see if I could get this. I said, hey, I told the little kids, my little kid was right around. He wasn't hopping on anything. I just told him, hey, let's go. Ya no regañaron, vente. I said, ya no regañaron, vente. And the guy's like, no te regañé, pero nomás no quiero que se caiga. Así like, just, and in my head, me and my wife walk out and we're kind of like, dude, that is why this place has no people. Like, who the fuck pays for this guy to fucking run their whole store? Who does this? Dude, if I was the owner, that guy's fucking fired like that. It's not what he said. It's the way he said it that came across the buyer differently than what he wanted it to come across. Does that make sense, guys?
100%.
No es lo que digas, es como lo digas, dice Fausto, 100%. So here's some things not to say in the fucking proposal delivery. Oscar, what is the first one?
Scam.
What is the first one, bro? Go check with your CPA.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I don't, Oscar, okay, mute it, Oscar. I don't know how, I don't know. These are the things not to say. I don't know how that works. Don't fucking say that ever in your life. You may, when, like, these are all things that cause your level of conviction and your level of confidence to fucking just drop. Okay? I
No
want
siempre
you
te
guys
la
to
pasé.
go check with your CPA. If you said go check with your,
Where's the Ferrero chocolates? Mhm.
okay, go check with your CPA. Why should we not use that?
Giving them the exit.
Not gonna close them, and they probably won't go check.
They're skeptical now. Why does he want me to check with my CPA? Skeptical. They're losing confidence in you because you can't explain exactly how it works. Or you're giving them too much information where now they feel like, fuck, I think I do have to check with my CPA before I go make that decision. Essentially losing you the deal. The other one is, I don't know how that works. Why should somebody buy an $80,000 product if you don't know how that works? I wouldn't do it. You may qualify. Wait, what do you mean you may qualify? I think I need to go ask somebody else. You lost the deal. Not everyone qualifies. Right? I seen somebody say, somebody before it even happened, like, they were like, hey man, I was writing a proposal and I knew already that they weren't gonna qualify. I was like, holy shit, let's go to Vegas. I was like, let's go to Vegas, bro. And he's like, what do you mean? Let's go to Vegas. Well, you know everything. You'd probably catch a good bet. Probably would, let's go to Vegas and bet against the Raiders, or tell me what the score is so we can put $100,000 down. And he just kind of looked at me and said, I just knew, like, how did you know? Can you read his mind? So but the reason why I'm telling you this is not to like bash on this guy, but I'm telling you because the way you feel causes you to lose conviction and confidence. Right? If you feel like somebody's not going to qualify, where's your attitude?
Not there. Yeah.
Not there. You know? And typically I hear this with guys, oh, they're retired. And then they're like, oh, they don't qualify. And then their attitude and their conviction and confidence goes down. And then that old dude, I'm like, dude, how the hell does that dude does not qualify? He lives in a freaking $800,000 home. Can you please ask him if he has any 401ks, retirements? What is income? Does he still file taxes? Like, oh yeah, I still file taxes. I make about $250,000 a year. IRS always hits me. Do not assume you know things. Do not assume you understand the client. Do not assume anything. Because it's going to cost your level of conviction and confidence to deteriorate. All right? You might get a bill. And the other one is, I can't guarantee that you won't get a bill. Why is that? Anybody want to participate? I can't guarantee that you might not get a bill. I can't. What about, instead of using all these things, or the other one, the last one is the loan is going to cost what? Why? Dude, when you say loan, it sounds as debt. Commitment to something long-term, 25 years. Well, guess what? Instead of saying, go check with your CPA, hey, that's a great question. Let's get the answer for you. All right, pick up the phone and call me. Hey, okay, he's probably busy with another call. Let me just text him. He just call me back in 5 minutes. All right? I don't know how that works. Mr. Customer, that's a great question. I'm 99% sure how it works, but I just want to make sure that the other 1% is right. So give me a second. Pick up the phone. You may qualify. When you go solar, you qualify for a federal tax credit up to this amount. Does that sound better? It's true. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Let's say Fausto doesn't qualify for the first year because he didn't work, but the next year he makes $100 grand. Does he qualify?
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't work for 3 years, but on the 4th, 5th year he works. Does he qualify?
Yeah.
Now it depends how much on him, right? So not everybody qualifies. Don't use that. It's the same as the other one. So you might get a bill at the end of the year. Mr. Customer, if you do decide to buy that Tesla, if you do add any add-ons, if you built your pool, call me. Because what we're going to do is assess exactly how much energy you need so that we can come in with a different system that's going to produce the excess amount of energy that you plan to use in the future. Make sense? Makes sense. Okay, perfect. Let's fucking, you see the difference? We're saying the exact same thing, but it's just in different light, right? And how are you able to say things like things I'm saying is being prepared. Being prepared. I don't understand how hard it is to waste 83 bucks. Fucking hot Cheetos are $3. And I see you guys buy like 15 bags a month. How is that possible? You care more, you give importance more to food, to alcohol, to everything else other than your business. Because you think, oh, I'm going to pick up my phone and then they'll tell me how to respond the next time. But at one point, guys, we got to look into ourselves and see, do we really want this? And if you're wasting our time, let us know. It comes down to being prepared. I can't guarantee that. Here's a better way of saying it. Mr. Customer, if it's about the tax credit, Mr. Customer, and you already know when you're informed, right? Because you picked up the phone and called me, and I said, hey, you're going to get $3,000 out of the $7,000, but the way I set it up is perfect. Client's like, oh shit, that makes kind of sense. You know, I can't guarantee that. Why? Because are you good at what you do? How long have you been there? 10 years. Okay, you think you're going to be there the next year? The year after that? Well, I hope so. But the reason why I can't guarantee the tax credit in full is because you might get fired. But based on the information you got and based on how good you are at work, you've been there for 10 years, you're going to get that amount of money. You see how I switched it up? How was my conviction? Did you see my conviction? You're going to get that amount of money. Now, if you lose your job, that's another story. Are you going to lose your job? No. Great. Let's move on. That is the shit that I'm talking about. That's the separator between somebody that goes to 70 to 95%. The level of conviction and confidence in what you're saying, the level of fluidity, and the level of knowledge, because everything ties in together. You can't have conviction without the knowledge. Because if you lack knowledge, how are you going to be convicted about saying the right things? How are you going to have that special belief? You're not. Okay? So let's go to the next one. The loan cost. Who can give me this one? What's a different way of saying it?
Total investment for your system.
The investment, right? The total investment in 25, Mr. Customer, and this is a way better way to say it, right? The total investment in 25 years and 300 months is going to be $25,366. That's it. Move on. You don't do anything else. But how did it sound versus A? The loan is going to be $25,000. There's exactly fuck, right? It's that fuck moment, fuck. All right. So okay, now we've done that. I've taught you guys the framework, and I know some of you guys are like, but I want to know what you say. It's not what I said, it's the way I said it. And what level of confidence and conviction you need to have, right? Is there anything else on the next one? Okay, cool.
Wait, we're giving people loans?
Who the hell said that?
Oh shit.
Your rate is 5 cents higher.
That was me. That was me.
Your rate is 5 cents higher, bro.
Don't do that.
All right, let's do the screen share. Give us 1 second, okay? We're gonna put the screen share on the actual proposal, and we're gonna go through it, okay? So, can everybody can see this the proposal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sweet. So everybody can see the proposal. And everybody can see the proposal, right? Cool. So, hey, Danny, move the proposal. You're in charge of that, buddy. So, Mr. Customer, so what's the first thing? We check our stuff, right? Go down. Go down, go down. Mr. Customer, here's your information. First, if you want to verify your information, because I see this common mistake, you get the yes, and then you punched in your email. Your email. You didn't punch in the client's email, you punched in your email, and you got the deal. And what happened? Now you got to backtrack. Oh, now you're losing confidence, right? Because you're like, fuck, I got to call in, change the address, and then it took you 20 more minutes than it should have taken you, right? So look, you double check, Mr. Customer, is this information correct on the screen? Okay, awesome. Look, I want to share with you, we are adding the 455s panel with you. Here, Mr. Customer, this is what matters the most. We're going to use the AP system. These are microinverters that go under your panels. And they're much more effective than using the string inverters. And the reason why is because if a panel goes out, that means that the whole system doesn't go out. The rest of the system continues to produce, and the application gives us an opportunity to have the install company come and fix whatever needs to be fixed. Does that make sense? This is why it's much better. All right. Now, what I was saying is that it does not matter what the actual number of panels are. What matters is the system size. That is what matters. Here, why am I saying this? Especially with Core.
Because if they have a shortage, they put other panels.
Other people,
Yeah, because, dude, if Core needs to get other panels and the panels are higher wattage amount, you might get 17 instead of 19. Right? And then the client goes off of what? The number of panels. And if you told them you're going to get 19 panels, but he gets 17, what happens?
They get upset.
You see what I'm doing? Like, I'm naturally thinking